Shalom. In the beginning of Sefer Shemot, we hear about the two midwives, right? Yocheved and Miriam. And we see that Paro told them to kill all the baby boys, the baby Jewish boys. And they didn't listen, and they didn't follow the decree, and they let the boys live. And what was their reward? The reward was that HaKadosh Baruch Hu blessed them with batim. He gave them houses. What is these houses? The Rashi tells us, Bitachon umalchut. They got kingship. And the priesthood should come from their family. So you see what did they get reward? They got reward of the greatest, they got blessed with great families. They got blessed with one of the greatest rewards that we see in the Torah. But what was their merit? What did they do? It was very special. Why? Because the Torah says, Ki yaru hameyaldot et elokim. It says they feared Hashem. And therefore they didn't listen to Paro. Paro was who? Paro was the leader of the whole world at that point, the leader of the free world. He was the one who everybody was. He was a superpower. He was the America of the time. Everybody was scared of him. People thought he was God. He said, "Who lived, who died," and what? They have this most powerful person in the world at that point. If there was anybody to be scared of, I'd probably be scared of Paro. People are scared of maybe Russia's leaders, the Marines or whatever it is. They're America. They're scared of Paro, but definitely they were. And what? The scariest person in the world, they weren't scared. Why? Because you know who they were scared more of? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They had yirat Hashem. They had fear of Hashem. Now, not just do they have yirat Hashem, they had more fear of Hashem than Paro, and because of this fear of Hashem, Hashem rewarded them that they got who? The Kohanim and the kings that come from them. Who are the Kohanim and the kings? They're the people who teach the people about yirat Hashem. They're the ones who give. You're supposed to have fear of a king, and it's a surah to go against the king. Rebelling against the king is punishable by death. And the Kohanim, you go to them when you have sins, you need to get yirat Shamayim, you go to the temple, they go and they help you give the korbanot. So because they had fear of Hashem, Hashem gave them such people who will give fear of Hashem to others. But it's not just fear of Hashem. It has to be that it's so real, and it's more real to you than how scared you are of Paro. And why can you not be scared of Paro? How is Paro scary? Because you realize who gave Paro power. People say, I'm scared that this person might put Judagar on me. Or I'm scared that this guy, he might do something to me. I don't know, I don't want to mess with this guy. I'm scared, I'm nervous what people are going to do to me. The person has to know who gives all those things power. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the Judagar. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created Paro. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created all these scary things in the world. And if Hashem is the one who's controlling it, so you should be really afraid of Him. You shouldn't be afraid of all these things. I'm scared of the audit. I'm scared of the IRS. I'm scared of all these things. If you have merit and you're close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in charge of it. As the Baal Shem Tov, his father made him promise before he passed away, make me a promise, you won't be afraid of anybody, you only be afraid of Hashem. Only afraid of Hashem. And from then on he said, I'm never afraid of anybody, only afraid of Hashem. Because the HaKadosh Baruch Hu runs the world. Therefore it's not that they just were more afraid of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they believe that it's all from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Even Paro is, the control is from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so we only have to do what Hashem's will is. And therefore we'll never be afraid of what somebody says. Somebody says, oh, you're going to do this mitzvah, and you're not going to do what I want you to do, you're going to see what's going to happen to you. No, lo tagur mipnei ish, the Torah says, do not be afraid of any man. You have to stick to Hashem's word. And therefore, it's not just yirat Hashem. Yirah is similar to the word lir'ot, ri'iyah, to see. So yirat Hashem also means that you, as if you see HaKadosh Baruch Hu is so real, you see Him. You see Paro, but you also have to realize, you have to make it in your mind that you see HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He's just as real as the person who's standing in front of you. And then when you're able to do that, tap into the power of yirat Hashem, where in mamash, you feel like you see Hashem, you must feel Him in the world that He's real, then you'll put Him first before other people. But what a lot of times, we don't really believe, or we don't really see it, or we don't really feel it, and therefore it's hard for us to put Hashem first over other things. Therefore, you should know, the merit you get is that your children will be blessed, and not just blessed, they will become the greatest of leaders because of this, that you had yirat Shamayim. But you have to constantly remember things that give us yirat Shamayim. We know the shofar is a very, very powerful way to get yirat Hashem. Any Sephardic Jew, any Jew, take any Jew, who only hearing the shofar, in that moment, he's a very holy Jew. I'm sure if you would ask him to do any mitzvah in that moment, he would love to do it. He would jump to do it. He says, for Hashem, I'm giving it my all, because that's how we feel during the shofar. You have to constantly be able to tap into that and get to yourself in that moment, in that mood, every single time when something comes up like a test. You have to constantly remember that. As we know, the shofar, what's the point of the shofar? Uru Mishnatchem, says the Rambam, to make us up from our slumbers. Sometimes we're sleeping, we forget how Hashem made a miracle for us. We forget how we were so dedicated to Hashem before. We said, that's it, I'm going to go and do the mitzvot, I'm going to go be dedicated for Hashem, I'm going to every day come to Netz. We had motivated sometimes, and then what? We fall asleep, we get carried away, and that's why the shofar is to wake us up. Remember you were dedicated. Remember you wanted to go and serve Hashem. Remember, don't forget that. And that's why the shofar is not just to see the shofar. It's to hear the shofar, because it's what's the inside that matters. The noise that comes out from the inside, not just the outside the shofar. Shofar can be beautiful. You have to blow the shofar because we have to remember it's what's on inside, the Yirat Shamayim inside. You can have all the beautiful things. You can have the most nice life. But the main thing is the inside. If did you get Yirat Hashem, were you in this world and got the knowledge of fearing Hashem? That's what we're here for, to realize, to reveal the honor of Hashem. So we show Zocheh to have Yirat Shamayim.